Good morning. This is a beautiful day here in Wielaka, Florida. Today is June 19th, 2017. Um, this day has a major impact on many slaves years ago in Texas. Um, this impacted American history, not just African American history, but this impacted American history profoundly. So today I'm going to do a poem called Juneteenth, which is, if you haven't heard about it, just Google Juneteenth, and it'll give you a lot of facts about what happened many years ago in Texas. So just don't take my word for it. Do some research. Okay, this is called Juneteenth. President Abraham Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation became law January 1st, 1863. Unfortunately, it was 2.5 years later for many slaves in Texas to learn they were free. It is said the messenger was murdered on his way to deliver this life-changing information. Another excuse, the news was deliberately withheld to keep free labor at plantations. Excuse number 3, federal troops waited for slave owners to reap benefits from a cotton harvest grown. These are reported theories. Whether they are true or not, today it is still unknown. Due to minimum troops to enforce this law, to Texas the emancipation had little impact. Slave owners had no desires whatsoever to divulge this life-altering fact. Many Texans resisted the emancipation, so by them this law was not endorsed. Union soldiers, led by General Gordon Granger, entered Galveston to make sure this law was enforced. While standing on a balcony of Ashton Villa, the morning of June 19th, 1865 was the year, he read General Orders Number 3, so everyone involved will understand it loud and clear. He read, "The people of Texas are informed, in accordance with a proclamation by the Executive of the United States, all slaves are free. This involves an absolute equality of personal rights and rights of property between former masters and slaves. And the connection heretofore existing between them becomes that between employer and hired laborer. The freed men are advised to remain quietly at their present homes and work for wages. They are informed that they would not be allowed to collect at military posts, and they would not be supported in idleness either there or elsewhere." For slave owners, this brought about pure shock, anger, confusion, and desperation. For slaves, it brought about great relief and tremendous jubilation. Some slaves stayed and became employees. For duties performed, they were compensated. But many ventured off to northern states. By others, their choices would no longer be dictated. Still, there were some that migrated to find family members in neighboring states. Desires of true freedom drove them into unknown territory to see for them what waits. Having freedom brought on many challenges because they did not know what was ahead. But not wanting to remain at plantations, many took the risk of being homeless instead. Juneteenth became an annual event where Africans gathered to celebrate. Some previous slave owners tried to stop these activities. They were still filled with anger and hate. At these gatherings, baseball, barbecuing, fishing, and rodeos were some of the events. Most activities performed always focused on education and self-improvement. Prayer services were held, and each and every one prepared their favorite dish. People fellowshiped and conversed about what in their life they had accomplished. Slaves wore rags. There was laws as to what type of clothing slaves can wear. But once freedom came, Africans created different styles which showcased their flair. When they stepped out to celebrate, the men were definitely dressed to impress. And as for the females, they were now free to express their own uniqueness. Many whites resisted and did not want these events to be held on public grounds. So blacks was forced to rural areas on the outskirts of most towns. As time passed, blacks got together and rallied to raise money to purchase land. Emancipation Park was purchased by Reverend Jack Yates, and today in Houston it still stands. Due to economical and cultural forces, for years interest in Juneteenth took a downward fall, and as textbooks and history of Africans were studied, Juneteenth was not mentioned at all. In '68, interest was regenerated by Dr. King and other plans to help the poor, but Dr. King was murdered before the Poor People's March, where they sat at the White House door. As people returned to their homes, they again began celebrating Juneteenth and the battles they had won. Many agencies were organized for this event to get greater recognition from everyone. Through efforts of state legislator Al Edwards, January 1st, 1980, Juneteenth became an official Texas holiday. Today, Juneteenth celebrates African freedoms while encouraging self-development in every way. This National Day of Pride is growing as cities and states form more local organizations. Communicating and networking is vital to continue Juneteenth history and celebrations. Now, we all have students in our lives, whether it's our kids, whether it's other people's kids. We have students in our life. We are teachers, each and every one of us. So we must instill, we must impart wisdom and knowledge of our history to our coming up generations. Do not let our history die. It's not just African American history, it's American history. We are American, we are part Americans. So we're not going anywhere. So we need to just love and embrace each other no matter what color we are, because we are in this together. We need to love each other. Thank you for listening. Thank you for taking your few minutes out of your day to listen to my poetry. I hope you enjoyed, and there will be more poetry to come. I love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Have a great day.